Now, about 100 civil society organizations have sought for urgent government action to address the alarming rise in mass atrocities and violent killings across Nigeria. As the nation marks the 7th National Day of Mourning for victims of mass atrocities, these organizations are demanding swift and decisive measures to stem the tide of violence and ensure justice for the victims. Here's the rest of the story.
Since the last commemoration in 2023, records show a harrowing toll of at least 4,416 lives lost and 4,334 individuals adopted in the incident of mass atrocities. These figures, which do not include regular crimes such as armed robbery, paint a stark picture of the escalating crisis gripping the nation. Communities across Nigeria, particularly in the north-central and northwest regions, have borne the brunt of this violence, with thousands of lives lost in terror pillages, communal clashes, and attacks by armed groups. In the southeast and south-south regions, casualties have mounted due to secessionist activities, cult gangs, and other forms of violence. Addressing a joint world press conference in Abuja, stakeholders and civil rights groups cited the constitutional mandate that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of the government, hence the need for intervention.
We noted that the sustained trend of brazen killings, abductions, and pillages across the country reflects the impugnacious confidence of armed groups whose acts of violence are rewarded with ransom payments, control over pillaged communities, and tax extorted from communities in exchange for peace. We are perplexed that while the government successfully tracked and froze the bank accounts of EndSARS protesters, it is unable to trace and quash kidnapping and ransom rings across the country using the same technology. In addition to attacks from armed groups, extrajudicial killings by state security actors have also continued, with at least 274 people extrajudicial killed by security personnel.
The devastating impact of insecurity extends beyond loss of life to encompass socio-economic hardships, food insecurity, and disruptions to education. The CSO questioned the modality the current administration is tackling issues that affect its citizens.
That the federal government, as presently constituted and run under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is failing in its responsibility to protect the life and property of the Nigerian people. Nigerians are suffering. There's hardly any family that has not been touched by this level of insecurity. Let me tell you something. If it is not because of what my senior brother Rafsanjani said, that insecurity is benefiting those who are paid salary as soldiers, as members of the armed forces. If not, why would it endure for that long?
They demanded government's intervention in implementing comprehensive strategies to address the root causes of violent crimes, provide humanitarian assistance to internally displaced victims and communities affected by insecurity, among other demands.
Feel the constitutional duty will result in our passing a loud and consequential vote of no confidence in them. Thank you.
We have the responsibility to continue to demand for accountability on the mass atrocities and murder and killings that is going on in this country. A situation whereby the whole community will be bombed, and not a single investigative report, no compensation, no rehabilitation is carried out in communities. It shows that some people are deliberately and consciously continue to create this condition to happen.
The government should prioritize providing quality education for all, infrastructure for unserved communities, and opportunity leverages for the indigent and marginalized. Our third demand is that the government acts humanely towards internally displaced people across the country and communities affected by insecurities as stipulated in Section 17 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Conducting thorough investigations and prosecutions of all perpetrators of violent crimes, including those committed during the 2023 general elections, were also advised.